excuse the state of me, very early in the morning, just getting up and getting ready for work and stuff like that. Hello. And just made a Slurpee. Love you. This little boy is going to go and play with Damson. You're going to play with Damson again. You can play with Damson in the rain. Damson loves you. He's well cared for. So I wasn't going to make this video, but I did get a message on my Facebook that's kind of spurred me on, but also 2 or 3 other people I know have been concerned about this particular situation. It's got nothing to do with me, and I'm not going to offer advice and things like that really. Oh bird, you're knocking your bed down. Get down a second. Get down. Get down. There we go, darling. You can lay down. Sorry, where were we? Okay, yeah. One of the messages, there's a comment, one message and all the rest of it, but they said, Bri, what is your take on the latest kind of thing with Sinead O'Connor? And I wasn't going to make a video about it, you know, because I deal with kind of mental illness and stuff like that at work. So I haven't met Sinead O'Connor, you know. I do know with Sinead, she was diagnosed with bipolar. I don't know when that was now, a long time ago. And that was the wrong diagnosis. She was on medication for 10 years and she only just came off it, I think, fairly recently. So a lot of people are concerned about this video that she's made. If you haven't seen it, it is on YouTube. I'm not going to put a link or anything. It's quite distressing, quite harrowing if you take it for face value. So I suggest that you don't watch really, because it, you know, won't feed you with anything nice to last the day, if you know what I mean. But she was on, I don't know what medication, I haven't done any research on it and what have you, I can guess. And to come off of that all of a sudden is quite dangerous. I think and I hope she's been weaning herself off it, and clearly there's other psychological disorders going on there as well. Stress, anxiety are the 2 biggest ones. I would say she's got paramnesia as well. Definitely paramnesia. And other associated things really, you know. I have watched the video, I've watched it twice, and she says a lot there, a lot of stuff, you know. She lost, I remember she lost £1 million on her house, and in the video she just repeats messages, 1 in a million, 1 in a million, 1 in a million, and I think that's probably connected to that really. I would say that she's now feeling invisible. You know, she was very, very famous. I loved Sinead O'Connor, I must admit. I got 6 or 7 albums, so it's a lot really. So I'm quite a big fan. And I will today, at some stage when I get back, I will put 2 songs on my Facebook. Thank You For Hearing Me and Fire on Babylon are just amazing songs. But I think she's feeling kind of invisible now because of her sort of adulation, the fame, you know, the money, everything else that comes into that, you know. And I think I can hear that in the video. She's saying, I'm only 5'4", I'm 5'4", I'm a little woman, I'm only small, you know, things like that. And I think she's finding that difficult to deal with. It's something that we wouldn't understand. You know, a number of years ago she would have walked down the street and got mobbed, wouldn't she? Hello Sinead, can I have your autograph or whatever? Now she'd walk down the street and people wouldn't really bother. You know, this grey-haired lady who once was famous, you know, nobody's overly interested. She knows that, that's how that career goes, but then how do you deal with that? You know, for us mere mortals, you know, when our career goes, you know, a friend of mine, he's just been in to see his doctor and there's a problem with both hips and he will have to give up work. So I know what he's going through because I've done exactly the same. When my career went, you know, I've got osteoarthritis, I've got a bit of a dodgy ticker at times, I've got tendonitis, and there's other things. I've got things like dysthymia, insomnia, blah blah blah. None of it is too bad, copable, I suppose we can call it. Sorry, I'm very tired. So when we give up something like that, well, that's okay. It doesn't matter. But then when somebody Sinead, you know, somebody like Sinead or whatever, when they have to give up all of what they had, millions and all those adoring fans and feeling that self-worth and that gratification and that love every single day, must be something difficult to give up. Must be amazing, you know. So that's where a lot of stress is coming from. She kept mentioning in her family, I know there's lots of problems there, and her child, well, she'd been married 4 times, some of her marriages just for days, you know. There's always been psychological problems there, and that is part of it. She got 4 kids from these marriages as well. She doesn't really see any of these kids. One of the kids, the youngest child, was put into care, so you can imagine being a mum, being a dad, putting up with something like that on a day-to-day basis, that you can't see your child, you know. It's devastating in the head, it really is. You know, I feel very, very sorry for her. When I watched the video, what I saw was the hour before the video and the hour after the video. And the hour before the video must have been very, very distressing for her. You know, verging on the suicidal sort of path again, because she's done that at least twice now. I mean, once she went missing and left a suicide note, another time she phoned friends and said, I'm suicidal. So there's been problems there for many, many years, and she hasn't got the help and treatment that she deserves. You know, sad indictment of who we are and what we are now, this human race. You know, the mental health, you know, we're not interested anymore. It's awful. I lost my my thread of thought there because I was thinking about something else. Yeah, so stress, paramnesia, anxiety, feeling worthless, feeling invisible, not having much contact with her family, missing her child, losing money, the fame and fortune is slipping away, and suddenly she's thinking, well, who the fuck am I then? What am I now? How do I now cope? I'm 50, you know, so it's a hell of a lot to cope with, and she does feel very, very alone in the world. But the important bit is the hour before and the hour after. Now, the hour before, she would have went through hell, literally through hell. If she was going to commit suicide, it would have been in that hour. So the video and after is fine on that level. After the video, she would have felt a great sense of relief, probably had a bath, stopped the tears and thought, thank God for that, and then went to sleep, because that is the body's shutdown mechanism, you know. I have flicked on to a couple of websites and what have you, and I do know that Sinead is now getting the help that she deserves. Actually, she's not. Sinead is with friends, she's being cared for and stuff like that. When I saw the video, I can't do anything to help her. The only person that I sort of know, who's somebody who's very, very famous in America, in the music business. And I thought, shall I contact him? He's got millions. He could help her. But do you know what? They don't. The music business don't do that. They just walk away. They just turn their backs. I don't know whether they don't want to be associated with it or what. I don't know. But for us, we're also like that, really. You know, the human body, we can only be ill in 2 ways. We can only get ill 2 different ways. One is physically and one is mentally. That's it. And yet the money that's spent, the physical stuff, you know, we've got everything in place, haven't we? Lots of money has been spent. There's lots of resources. It goes on and on and on. Whatever physical side of it, you know. The mental side of it, very, very minimal. It's awful. And as individual people, if we saw somebody walking with a limp, a physical ailment, we would help them home. You see somebody without any shoes on shouting at a building, you step on by, you walk past. We're scared that it might affect us, you know. Truth is, we're all suffering some form of mental illness, all of us, I think. And I know that stress, no, anxiety in particular, this is the age of anxiety. That's what this is now. This is the age of anxiety. Anxiety has gone up and up and up and up, the cases. There's only 7% of people, you know, I mean, this is through my work, but there's only 7% of people that actually go to their doctor with anxiety. And yet when they filled out a questionnaire in 2013 and again in 2015, and it had gone up in just that short period, there's millions of people out there that feel anxious on a day-to-day basis, and sometimes for many hours during that day. That's a serious condition that needs treatment. It's awful, isn't it? Only 7% go to their doctor about it. So there's a lot of people out there struggling, really. And right now, Sinead is struggling. And although it's frightening and it's harrowing and all the rest of it, after that video she would have felt much better. And I know that she received a couple of phone calls and what have you. And she's with some people now. And hopefully she can get some rest and some help and stuff like that. I know that the police went there as soon as they saw the video to this travel lodge or whatever the hell it was, you know. And she wasn't there, and she checked out many hours earlier and what have you. So, you know, she will be fine. I think she is a fighter. She is a very sensitive soul, I think, really, Sinead. I think anything that happens in the world, the ramifications of that, it ripples and it finds its way into Sinead. You know, Sinead, she's a lovely woman. She's worked tirelessly, really, all her career, all her life, for child abuse, for, well, many things, you know, racism, for domestic abuse, for women's rights. It goes on and on and on, what she's done in her life, really, you know. She has been a powerful woman, and again, this is part of her problem, that she is no longer a powerful woman, really, because she's not in the limelight. So although there's a lot that she wants to do, she can't really do it anymore, you know. And again, it's losing that adulation, that fame, and all that goes along with it, you know, bless her. So she's feeling hopeless and lost, you know. I think she needs to get, I would like her to get some treatment, sort herself out, you disappear for a year or two. I'd like her to come back and do some kind of work within the mental health profession. It would have to be on stage, because she needs that, really. She needs the feedback from people. She needs, again, the adulation or the fame or whatever. That's what she needs. But, you know, I could see her doing, I don't know what's on television, but a show on television, talking to people with various illnesses and problems and troubles and stuff like that. Or just going around doing concerts and maybe sing a few songs and sit down and chat to the audience about where they're at in their head. Who knows? But again, she needs a decent manager, you know. And I mean, she's been abused terribly. I think she was 19, was she, or something, when she became famous. So she's been famous all her life, and she's had shit round her all the time, just, you know, sponging off her, taking money off her, including her husbands and everybody else that ever knew her, you know. So she ain't got a pot to piss in, really, I don't think, you know. I just feel very sorry for her, you know. But what we saw in the video, although it's frightening, although it's worrying, although it's quite a harrowing video to get through and what have you, that was then, and she would have moved on and past that, you know. And perhaps the day before or the day after, she was quite happy, you know, in her own sort of way. She will always struggle mentally, I think, because she has been for many years. Bless her. But anyway, I'll put those two videos up when I get a chance. Have a sit and watch. Particularly, thank you for hearing me. I love that. That beat drives me inside. It's just beautiful. Right, I need to finish with Slurpee, get a wash, and then my little friend here is off to play with his little friend Damson. Take care. Enjoy the rain. Be well.